Receive presidential Falcon 900EX jet soon after major maintenance completed, corrosion repaired, and all required tests conducted successfully.
Later in the bulletin, the Ministry of Energy vows to recover all funds owed by PDS after international arbitration victory in favor of the Electricity Company of Ghana.
Coming up in business news, Cybersecurity Authority reveals online fraud tops Ghana's cyber threats as losses hit 19 million cedis as of September 2025.
And on the international front, Brazilian president warns that extremist forces were spreading lies about climate change for political gain.
We have details of all these stories and many more coming up in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us.
We're starting from the power front, and government says it will take all administrative and legal steps to recover any amount due the Electricity Company of Ghana and the state over contractual dealings with Power Distribution Services (PDS). According to the Energy Ministry, fallouts from the ECG-PDS saga will not be repeated in subsequent public-private agreements.
After nearly 6 years of legal back and forth, Ghana scored a major victory in the long-running dispute between the Electricity Company of Ghana and Power Distribution Services Limited (PDS). A London-based arbitration tribunal has dismissed all claims filed by PDS, which was seeking more than $390 million in compensation after government terminated its 20-year concession to manage ECG's operations. The 2019 deal, backed by the U.S. Millennium Challenge Corporation, was meant to inject private sector efficiency into Ghana's power distribution network. But months into the contract, government suspended the agreement, citing fraudulent payment guarantees presented by PDS. After years of arbitration, the London Tribunal dismissed all claims by PDS, upholding ECG's decision and affirming that the fraudulent guarantees invalidated the entire concession. Power Distribution Services Limited (PDS) has acknowledged the ruling of the London-based arbitration tribunal in its long-standing dispute with the Electricity Company of Ghana. In a statement issued on Wednesday, PDS said it respects the integrity of the arbitration process and confirmed that its legal team is currently reviewing the detailed decision to determine the next steps. According to the head of communications of the Energy Ministry, Richmond Roxing, the news is welcoming.
This is good news. In the first place, we shouldn't have been here. We believe that as the processes commenced a couple of years back by His Excellency the President in his first term, if that administration, previous administration had continued, I'm sure that today we would have seen a better ECG, where we wouldn't have lost $190 million and we wouldn't have been engaged in these needless legal battles.
Government says it will take all administrative and legal steps to recover any amount due the state after the court's ruling.
This kind of process will not happen again. The process where people's personal interest, selfishness, and greed takes interest ahead of national interest should never happen. Within the period, the revenues that PDS collected are still sitting with PDS. And those monies are not for PDS. Those monies are the bona fide property of ECG, and that you have the assurances of government that every single penny with PDS will be recovered by the country.
No, government says it has learnt lessons from the episode to guide its future public-private partnership engagements with ECG and the wider energy sector.
Right, so let's engage the Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Nsia, who's joined us on this particular subject. Very good evening to you, sir. Thank you for your time. Right, I'm sure if you can hear me, kindly unmute for us. And while at that, let me throw in my first question, which will be that what would your general reaction be to this victory? Some call it a defensive victory, but generally, it meant that Ghana did the right thing by abrogating the contract, although PDS thought otherwise.
Yes, I think it is a defensive victory, and then Ghana did the right thing. And my summary remark is that the court judgment brings finality or closure to this matter, and that it will help ECG to continue to ensure its operational integrity as well as financial integrity, and also boost certain confidence in engaging new partners who may want to partner it, embark on its operational or technical activities.
There usually are fears of, judgment debt when anytime the state intends to abrogate some of these kinds of contracts. But it looks as though this one was done right, having thought through all the entire process, and we got the court to agree with us. What kind of image does this put out to private institutions or entities that may want to do business with Ghana? So
before the closure by the court, I think that any private entity who would have wanted to engage ECG will be a bit scared, and because of the risky nature of future liability that would have been borne by ECG if this particular court case went otherwise. But for now that there's a closure, I think that that aspect has been written off, and any partner will be rest assured that ECG and Government of Ghana doesn't just terminate contract, but rather it goes through rigorous bureaucratic procedures that ensures that it does the right thing, and that is transparency with respect to this particular contract. The second part is that now that ECG has been saved by this particular court ruling, certain companies or certain banks or financial institutions that would have lent their facilities to ECG at higher interest or higher loan terms will now begin to reduce their loan terms, and that means that ECG will get the necessary resources it needs, especially financial resources it needs, to be able to improve on its operational efficiency as well as operational effectiveness, which is the demand for Ghanaians for reliability of supply of power.
Right. And is it a good idea that we are going after these monies or chasing PDS now? Shouldn't we just be, sit and allow the court decision to rule?
No, I think that is a good idea for us to act offensive. I think earlier PDS acted offensive, and with our defensive means we had that particular victory. The second part is to go offensive and ensure that we're able to retrieve our assets from them. And one, we have to look at it from various perspectives, because we have to get auditors, we have to get asset evaluators, we have to even appraise these assets and see their depreciation, whether we can cost these depreciations for PDS to pay. After doing all this analysis, another thing we also have to look at is reconciliating what PDS brought in and what they took from us. If there are certain balances that we think they must pay the Government of Ghana further, we go to court to demand these payments. So it is going to be a multi-sectorial approach led by the Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Finance, the Attorney General's Department, management asset evaluators or asset managers, as well as the Auditor General of Ghana. All these sector agencies must come together to form a committee, and based on this committee, we're able to appraise the assets and then demand justice for whatever is with them.
Benjamin Insia, thank you so much for your time this evening. He is the Executive Director for the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy.
In more news tonight, President John Mahama has announced the piloting of a private sector involvement in the collection of water bills, a move aimed at improving service delivery and efficiency in Ghana Water Company. He made the comments at the sword cutting of a $150 million solar for industries that is expected to provide 200 megawatts of power for industries in Agoto in the Ningo Prampram constituency.
The president's visit to the Dawa Industrial Enclave will be the first since returning to the reins of power. The establishment of the Dawa Enclave was first mooted by the president in his first administration and has since seen some industries setting up there under the Free Zones Board. The president inspected the bulk power supply and water production site of the industrial park with a capacity of 350 kilovolt. The president was impressed with the architecture and its modern equipment. He also inspected the water supply system of the zone. He then moved to the site for the construction of the solar farm, granted with a facility support of $150 million from the International Financing Corporation, the private sector support arm of the World Bank. The farm is to serve industries with its first 100 megawatts ready for use after a year.
The first phase of 100 megawatts will be operational in December 2026, and the second a year after. At 300 gigawatt hours, it will generate around 2.5% of Ghana's electricity needs, reducing our reliance on expensive fossil fuels and significantly lowering our carbon emission. This project will set our country on the path to achieving our 10% of demand by solar energy by 2030.
The president announced a new city. His ambitious 20-year project will stretch from the Dawa Industrial Zone, incorporating the Saglemi housing estate through the Bundasi military range into the Volta and Eastern regions.
This will be the industrial enclave, and then there will be the residential enclave. There will be the enclave for offices, there will be the commercial district, there will be the financial district, and so it will be a very well laid out city. So everything that is happening here is being integrated into the green digital city that we have envisioned for our dear nation, Ghana.
The president revealed that the feasibility study and design for his ambitious city are set to commence by the end of the year.
PDS was not a bad thing. It is just that it was handled wrongly, and many people had personal interest in PDS, and that's why it failed. But there's something to be said for injecting private sector efficiency into public utilities. We're going to experiment a pilot where we have small town water systems that are broken down, that are publicly administered. And we're going to involve private sector companies to repair those small town water systems, distribute the water, and be responsible for the bill collection. After all, the PURC is the one that sets the tariffs. And so these companies are not going to be able to set tariffs that are above what our people can afford to pay. And so we're going to have a pilot both in the water sector, and we're also going to continue the efforts to inject private sector in the bill collection and the last point of service of power distribution to customers.
Let's now go to the Ashanti region, and we understand that the Environmental Protection Agency media team has been involved in a ghastly accident after being chased out by illegal miners. Journalists covering the EPA special operation on clamping down on illegal mining have been involved in an accident at a ferry in the Ashanti region. 2 of the journalists are currently in critical state. Ashanti regional correspondent of Media General Ibrahim Abubakar was among the team. Reporters revealed that the convoy of the EPA was attacked by some illegal miners at Dajune near Obuasi. Let's get more on this development and speak to Professor Nana Ama Brown-Kluche. She is the Chief Executive Officer of the EPA. Prof, thank you so much for your time. First of all, how is the team faring?
Yeah, thank you for having me on the news today. It's traumatizing, but so far I would say we thank God for our lives. We are all safe, except for a few injuries.
We understand that 2 journalists are in critical condition. Can you confirm this?
Yes, it's true. So your reporter, Abubakar, no, not Abubakar, Kojo from Joy TV cameraman, And Abubakar is fairly okay. He was also involved. That's your reporter. He's fairly okay. Then we have Channel 1 TV, Doris, also a reporter from Ashanti region. She's also in not so critical a situation, but she's not okay. Let me put it that way. Okay. She's responding to treatment and the many others. So we have 8 people who are victims of this, and they are all responding to treatment. Okay. The most critical one is the Joy TV, the cameraman who has a broken thigh bone, and he's been attended to as we speak.
We wish them speedy recovery. But Prof, can you give us an account of exactly what happened?
Okay, thank you. So EPA, we plan a 3-week operation to deal with the shops that actually provide services for illegal mining activities, and especially the mining in water bodies. So yesterday we took over the shops at Arian Kwanta stretch, where we seized some equipment and other items, and we closed down the shops that provide services or sale of champagne engine machines and water pumps and water hose and those mats that they use to capture the gold. So 2 reasons. These shops are to be permitted by EPA. So most of them have the EPA permit to operate the warehouse that they sell from. But what they declare to be selling per our documentation that they have are spare parts of cars and caterpillars. So in their shop were water pumps, which we all know that these are not spare parts of caterpillars. The champagne engines are not spare parts of caterpillars. So they violate EPA's permitting condition. So we could close them down based on that. Aside that, these champagne machines and other products that they are selling are also the same products that support the illegal mining, and especially in our water bodies. So we stood on that and closed down most of the shops we could have access to. We started the operation at 8 a.m. We took a break at 4:30 p.m. Yesterday, we were able to close 19 shops based on this principle. Today, we took another stretch. So on our way, we saw an illegal mining activity going on in a particular site along the Adanse, Obuasi area. So we stopped. We were having the national security with us. So we stopped to check the site. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Hello, Prof. Sadly, we have lost Professor Nana Ama Brown-Kluche. She's the Chief Executive Officer of the EPA, and given us an update on the attack by the media team of the EPA after they came under attack by illegal miners.
We'll certainly update you, and you can get details of that story on our website as she's narrating it as well. And in subsequent bulletins, we'll also let you know how it all played out. Speedy recovery to the team. Now, on to some other stories. Now, Ghana will soon receive its presidential jet, the Falcon 900EX, following an update from the Deputy Defense Minister that major maintenance works on the aircraft are advanced. Ernest Broja Jemfi told Parliament that the reported corrosion spots detected in the jet and other defects have all been repaired. He says the aircraft will return to Ghana after all tests, including a leak test of the fuel tank's third engine ground run and acceptance flights are conducted.
Mr. Speaker, the Falcon 900 executive aircraft was ferried to Dassault Falcon services in Le Bourget, France on Tuesday, 11th March 2025 for the 24 monthly and 1,600 flying hours periodic inspection. This inspection is a mandatory airworthiness requirement that ensures that the main maintenance tasks and due list tasks compiled for the 24 monthly inspections have been completed and functional checks have successfully carried out. Mr. Speaker, also the reported corrosion spots detected within the aircraft fuel tanks, which affected the aircraft's delivery date, have undergone extensive repairs. These corrosion issues in the fuel tanks have since been resolved. However, in the course of the inspection, fuel leakages were observed from the right-hand wing tank. Unfortunately, after successfully repairing the section of the wing that experienced the leakages, other challenge was encountered while reinstalling the lower panel beneath the wing. This occurrence has resulted in further delay in the completion of the inspection. Mr. Speaker, following the difficulties encountered, Dassault Aviation invited the Falcon Wing original equipment manufacturer to the Dassault Falcon Services hangars to enable the OEM conduct an on-site assessment of the right-hand wing lower panel and provide independent technical recommendations aimed at expediting the repair and reinstallation process.
Still in the House, the Ewutu Senya East Member of Parliament, Phyllis Nako-Yokuno, has insisted that she was attacked by some unknown men believed to be lawyers of Mavis Hawakumsin, the former MP for that constituency, contradicting a recent report by the Interior Minister that she denied any attack on her convoy. Nako-Yokuno stressed that she noticed her vehicle was followed by a V8 allegedly known to be used by Hawakumsin. She has sent a strong message to the task force investigating the 2020 and 2024 election violence to be factual.
I remained quiet despite calls by well-meaning Ghanaians, including my constituents, who witnessed these brutal attacks. At no time did I say no attack happened. I stated emphatically to the task force that on the election day, during my rounds, I noticed my convoy was being followed by a V8 vehicle, allegedly known to be used by Hawakumsin, and a Nadmo pickup, which had a green government number plate. After visiting some polling stations, I decided to go home because I felt my life was in danger. So, I am convinced that at the conclusion of this investigation, the truer facts will emerge. On the issue of unwillingness of persons who witnessed these acts to testify, this is entirely out of my control. There are videos to some of these attacks, and these are available for the committee to aid their work. Friends of the media, does the unwillingness to eyewitness and victims to testify mean these documented acts of violence didn't happen? Even if there is records of loss of life and injuries.
We stay with politics because the New Patriotic Party Election Committee says all party members who forfeited their membership will have their voting rights revoked and cannot reclaim their previous positions unless they complete their necessary procedures for full reinstatement. Chairman of the committee, Joe Osewusu, was speaking at a press conference at the party's headquarters.
Members who have forfeited their membership under Article 391 shall be excluded from the process. Therefore, they shall not participate in or vote in the presidential election on Saturday, January. What I do know is that under the Constitution, you lose your membership when you contest against the party's candidate, or you campaign for a candidate other than the party's candidate. Automatic. So the party's amnesty was specific. Anybody who has disciplinary proceedings or a punishment hanging on his or her head is being granted general amnesty, except those who have forfeited their membership. Specifically said, if you forfeited your membership, apply. Generally, my view has been that, well, if you forfeit your membership today, you can rejoin. You're a beginner. But until 2 years have elapsed, you do not qualify to compete for any position. So if you had a voting right and you lost your membership, you may have rejoined, but you don't return to your position. You're starting afresh.
You're still watching News 360. Stay with us. We have business, sports, and entertainment news all coming up. Stay.
I love President Charcoal. Why?
When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste.
That's both charcoal and lemon.
Oh, does it?
Yes, look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
Why are more and more professionals choosing Flamingo paint?
Good evening. This is Business on News 360 and I am Minu Afol. The Cybersecurity Authority has revealed that from January to September this year alone, the country recorded more than 19 million Ghana cedis in losses from reported cyber incidents, with online fraud leading the pack. The revelations came at the 2025 Cyber Forum organized by PwC Ghana under the theme, New World, New Rules. Cybersecurity is in an era of uncertainty.
Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Divine Selassie Agbeti, emphasized that these threats form part of a worrying pattern targeting individuals, businesses, and even critical national infrastructure, requiring a strategic coordinated response.
Online fraud is the most reported incident, followed by online blackmail, unauthorized access, information disclosure, and cyberbullying, respectively.
The CSA boss highlighted ongoing efforts under the Cybersecurity Act 2020, including the protection of critical information infrastructure, accreditation of service providers, and collaboration with law enforcement agencies. Meanwhile, country senior partner of PwC Ghana, Vish Ashiagbo, said the forum forms part of PwC's commitment to strengthening digital resilience among businesses.
There's still quite a bit of a gap in terms of the appreciation by business leaders of the kind of risk that their organizations face and what type of preparedness or resilience they need to put in place to counter these risks and to also deal with them as they emerge.
But has corporate Ghana done enough to safeguard its cybersecurity systems? Partner Technology Consulting at PwC Nigeria, Femi Madariola, had this to say.
Our institutions are trying. They've started. However, in terms of doing it enough, what I would say is it's not there is no destination. It's a journey, right? Every single day you need to do an assessment to say what are the risks to my business, to my processes, right, or to my critical assets.
Away from that, the Ghana National Petroleum Commission says it is working actively to ensure Ghanaians take a leading role in the country's upstream petroleum sector. Since the discovery of oil in commercial quantities, the space has been largely dominated by major international oil companies. But speaking at the Petroleum Commission's local content conference, the chief executive of GNPC said the corporation is making deliberate efforts to create an enabling environment for indigenous businesses to thrive in the industry.
GNPC is a $2 billion per annum enterprise, with a significant portion of our procurement controlled by partners who operate different aspects on our behalf. Indeed, that's the nature of the industry, where amongst joint venture partners, one is selected to operate on behalf of the others. We are, however, rapidly becoming an emerging force that enables us to operate on our own or on behalf of others, thus controlling a significant portion of the EMP procurement. So through the ways that we're charting from offshore to our inland basins, we're steadily bringing control back to Ghanaians. The opportunities in both existing fields offshore and the Voltairean Basin provide new space for indigenous companies to thrive and blossom. I think the Talo managing director referred to an MOU that we've signed to extend the license. And within that, we're seeking more significant interest.
We'll take your attention now to the Ghana Revenue Authority, which has set an ambitious target to significantly expand the national tax base by aiming to register 8 million new taxpayers. This will increase the total number of registered taxpayers from the current 19 million. Commissioner General of the GRE, Anthony Kwesi Sapong, made this known at the launch of the Sustained Tax Education Program and the Modified Taxation Scheme in Accra.
We estimate that potentially the population of this segment is about 8 million. We plan to target enrolling about 2 million potentially within the next 3 years into the tax net. If we do so with an average of 5,000 Ghana cedis per individual for 2 million people for the next 3 years, will be bringing into the tax net 10 billion Ghana cedis for phase 1. In the phase 2, we'll work to bring in the additional 6 million into the tax net, and that will bring in additional 30 billion Ghana cedis into the tax net. So this has a huge potential, and we believe that with the support of everyone, every Ghanaian, and with our partners, we should be increasing revenue mobilization going forward for national development.
We'll now take updates from the forex and commodities markets. We'll end the segment here. My name is Menu Af. We have more news updates coming up for you. Don't go anywhere.
Brought to you by Sasso Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. The two biggest clubs in the Ghana Premier League, Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Accra Heart of Oak, have thrived for decades, not just for their numerous players or trophies, but for the fierce fan culture they have built over the years. With the upcoming Super Clash on Sunday, my colleague Billy Shen put together this report on the fan culture and how important these supporter groups have become for these clubs.
Only a few fixtures capture the minds and imagination of Ghanaians, like the Super Clash. That game between Heart of Oak and Asante Kotoko is expected to bring drama, action, and possibly goals. Now, for Heart of Oak, there's one particular backbone of them, a fan base known as the Chapter O, who is always supporting them, giving them the zeal, giving them the firepower to perform. And as you can see behind me, these are members of the Chapter O, a group that have been passionately supporting Heart of Oak for quite a long time. And I'm going to be talking to some of them and gauge their mood ahead of that Super Clash against Asante Kotoko.
We know we are winning Asante Kotoko coming this Sunday. As we always say, solo no nehu, the atrim na atrim.
We are going to break the jeans. I said it the last time when we were playing there. The top four, we did. And you see, we have just break it. And the Sunday is going to be extraordinary. Kotoko will take it. Kotoko, they go suffer. We go beat them. Asante Kotoko, a reminder that that game will be happening on Sunday at the Accra Sports Stadium. Both teams are yet to taste defeat so far this season. And of course, you would expect scores and scores of members of Chapter O backing Heart of Oak to hopefully get a result over Asante Kotoko.
Well, that's just a teaser on what to expect on Sunday. Remember that the game between Accra Heart of Oak and Asante Kotoko will be live on TV3 on Sunday, and so we'll be building up to that one here on our various bulletins and on social media as well at 3 Sports GH. But let's do some more stories where former Heart of Oak midfielder Ibrahim Salifu has earned his first ever call-up to the Benin national team, marking a major milestone in his career. The 25-year-old, who currently features for FC Drita in Kosovo, has been named in Ghana's Raw squad for an upcoming international friendly against Burkina Faso later this month. Benin, who recently sealed qualification for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, will compete in Group D alongside DR Congo, Senegal and Botswana. Meanwhile, Ghanaian-born midfielder Baba Al-Hassan has also officially switched nationality to Uganda. He earned his first Cranes call-up for the upcoming friendlies against Chad and Morocco. Or you can get some more updates on our social media handles at 3 Sports GH on 3 News/Sports. My name is Oreku Ampofo.
My line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of
Return to the Ashanti region for an update on the attack of the EPA media team by illegal miners. And William Evans Sincom is at the hospital. Evans, what more can you report from the hospital?
Well, Portia, I can tell you that the journalists are responding to treatment. A bit slow. They are not out of wounds yet, but two of them, we understand from multimedia, their condition is quite critical, and they have been rushed to the Kopanoti Teaching Hospital for further treatment. Our colleague Ibrahim is here. Not too long ago, I engaged him. He's well. He took some X-ray, just waiting for the doctor to interpret the X-ray, so we also know what to do next. But he's also complaining of some chest pains because of the impact of the crash. But thanks be to God, he's doing well, for sure.
Evans, so we wish them a speedy recovery. Any arrest made so far?
Not yet. You know, they had to run for their lives. So any other developments, we're waiting on the police to give us an update. But I spoke to the police this evening. They are yet to be briefed as far as this particular development is concerned. So I cannot independently confirm that there has been any arrest so far.
Evans, thank you so much for your time, and speedy recovery to Ibrahim as well as the media team. Coming up, entertainment news.
News segment is brought to you by GTP Lifestyle and Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil, powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, legendary musician Rocky Dawuni has reiterated the importance of safeguarding our culture and heritage for future generations. Now, according to him, the establishment of the Pan-African Heritage Museum will play a crucial role in realizing the vision of a united Africa and in preserving our rich cultural legacy. When completed, the Pan-African Heritage Museum will stand as a global center for culture dedicated to celebrating, preserving, and promoting the shared history, heritage, and achievements of Africans and the African diaspora. It will be a space where visitors can explore Africa's past, understand its present, and draw inspiration for its future.
A people without their own memory is a people without a defined future. You know, so you have to be able to, you know, appreciate your culture. You have to be able to preserve your culture.
Multiple Grammy nominee and global icon Rocky Dawuni said the establishment of the museum will play a crucial role in realizing the vision of a united Africa.
If Ghana is the foundation of Pan-Africanism, is the home of bringing our brothers and sisters from the diaspora, is the home of also defining the new identity of Africa, then having this museum here is a matter of historic importance. It's a matter of our founding fathers, the vision of a united Africa. We won't have unity unless we have a space that also holds the value of our unity.
According to Ochame Kwame, the project will help strengthen and promote the African identity.
I think that as an African, one of the most important conversations is Pan-Africanism and the African identity. So if a visionary like Kojo Yanka sees that we need to build a museum, I think using my voice and my person and my music to support the vision is just the least of what I can do. So it is not something I've chosen to do, it has chosen me. The Pan-African Heritage Museum has chosen me, and Nananum are saying that I should be a part of it. That's why I'm a part of it.
Come Friday, November 7th, top musicians will join forces through the power of music to support and raise funds for the Pan-African Heritage Museum. Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
And that's it for our show this evening. Thank you so much for watching. There's more news on our website, 3news.com. My name is Martin Esiedudate.
And I am Portia Gabodu. Join Alfredo Cancer at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.